Hey, it's Chef Evelyn here, and today I am back with another video, and we're going to be talking about 9 reasons you should be offering cooking classes in your business. Listen, there's more than 9 reasons, but these are the 9 reasons that I want to talk about today. So let's just hop straight into it. So obviously, these are not in any particular order. One or more of these reasons may be appealing to you, but listen, take what you need from it, think about it, chew on it, marinate it. You see what I did there? Marinate on it and think about if you want to add cooking class to your current business model. So the first, and to me the most obvious one, is having cooking classes is a great additional revenue stream, because even if you don't want to do cooking classes full time, it's something that you can turn on and turn off at your leisure, right? If you have all the systems in place and set up to ready to go, you can do cooking classes as often or as infrequent as you want to. And so while you may be a caterer, you may be a personal or private chef, you may, be a food blogger, you may be, have a bakery or something like that, you could say, maybe I want to do one cooking class a month or, once every other week, right? You don't have to say like, okay, I'm going to shut down what I'm doing to do cooking classes. It's just a great way to tap into another part of your clientele base or your customer base or your social media following that may not need your other services on the day-to-day, right? So that's the first reason, which I think is the very obvious one, is like you can create additional revenue. Another reason, or the second reason that I think that you should be teaching cooking classes, is it's a great way to sell your other products and services. I can't tell you how many dinner parties I used to book from offering cooking classes, right? It's because I would, have the cooking class. And even when I was running a cooking school under a gourmet retailer, a lot of my chefs, even though they technically weren't supposed to, right, would book private gigs from the class because people got to meet them. They got to see, like how they were, how knowledgeable they were about food. And they would end up booking gigs with people, and I've done the same thing, right? And it's like, listen, first of all, I wasn't a hating boss, because I was like, listen, make your money. You about to probably make more in this one night than you're gonna make in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And so go do that, right? But it was a great way to sell other products and services. We used to have wineries come through and sell wine by the case because of cooking classes. We had cookbook authors come through, and, all 45 people in the class, bought their book, right? Versus, them trying to sell it one by one. So having cooking classes is a great way to sell your other services. The third thing is work-life balance. There is something about cooking classes, like you get in, you get out, right? There's not like days of preparation. Like, let's say you're doing a wedding cake. There's days of preparation, if not longer, right? If you're catering for a very large event, there's a couple of days of preparation, right? With a cooking class, there's like an hour or two of prep, right? And even breakdown, like an hour, you know what I mean? And so, you can really get in and get out. When it's over, you're on to the next. You can do them any time of day or evening. You don't have to work on the weekends if you don't want to. You don't have to work in the evenings if you don't want to. If you do want to do those hours, you can do that too. But there's so many options, and depending on the format and the type of cooking classes, you can have a lot of people in a class. You can have very intimate classes, right? The price points can vary, so it allows you, you can teach 2 cooking classes a week, depending on the kind of business model that you have, and make full-time income on 2 days a week, right? So it's something to consider when we start talking about quality of life, right? The third thing is you can work less and make more. One of the things that I'm going to be sharing in my upcoming Build Your Cooking Class Business Bootcamp, all the details to that bootcamp will be in the description box below. But one of the things I'm going to be sharing in there is 3 different case studies. And one of those case studies is like how my very first online cooking class in 2010, before Instagram was created, so there was no Instagram following, I had no social media following at all, made me $500, right? And how I was able to sell that over and over again. I'm also going to be sharing another case study of how I made a week's salary in one night doing a cooking class. And probably one of my favorite case studies is how I got paid $5,000 to do a 45-minute cooking demonstration. And I don't say that to be braggadocious. Like, you really can work more. Excuse me, not work more. You really can make more and work less with cooking classes. I've done online cooking classes and courses and sold those passively. I've had an online cooking class membership. I've done corporate cooking classes, and there are so many ways. Like, I've made money from my food courses in my sleep. I've done corporate cooking classes where I made a month's worth of salary with a handful of cooking classes. So that's probably my favorite. I mean, the work-life balance is great. The work less and make more, I'm never going to get tired of that, right? So that's another reason why you should be offering cooking classes. The next thing is clients can try before they buy. So, maybe you're a personal chef, maybe you're like a solo caterer, and people are all the time like, well, can I taste test your food? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it's like, that may not be financially conducive to where you are in business right now, but a cooking class is a great way for you to have a way for people to come and try your food. Now, you don't necessarily have to cook it, but it's like they can kind of see the kind of menus that you create. It's an additional revenue stream. So you're not offering it for free. You're not wasting your time. And you can tell people, hey, listen, maybe you do these classes once a month, twice a month, right? People can come in, maybe they're going to be creating things that are similar to your menu or off of your menu, right? And then, right, they may want to hire you for your catering services, right? So that you also can think of it as a way of, like, instead of giving out free samples, right? It's like, this is a great way for people to try you out before committing to your bigger service or offering, right? The next one, and this is probably one of my favorites, is I have never gotten so many referrals than when I was doing cooking classes. And the reason why is because not everybody who takes a cooking class needs your services, or, like, let's say you're doing online classes, they may not even live in your area, right? But that doesn't mean they don't know people. That doesn't mean they can't share about you, right? And vice versa. Like, everybody who needs your services may not want to take a cooking class, right? But if they know somebody who may not need your catering services or your personal chef services, but loves to cook, they can refer them to your cooking classes, right? And so one of the things that I love about cooking classes is it allows that referral to happen. People get to spend a significant amount of time with you, a couple of hours. You're engaging, you're in conversation, you're connecting over food. And it really builds that know, like, and trust factor. And that is when people want to give you referrals. I got so many referrals for a variety of different things. And so did my chefs, and so have my clients, just from doing cooking classes, right? So it's a great way to build up your referrals, okay? The next thing is it really puts you in control of your income. You don't have to wait for people to reach out to you, and you can use cooking classes almost like as a marketing tool, right? Like, if you can get people to come to cooking classes, you can then sell them your other services, right? You could talk about what else that you do, right? Versus just waiting on referrals. Like, it can build up referrals. At the same time, it puts you in charge of your income instead of sitting around and waiting for people to have an event, right? Waiting for people to be ready to hire you full time to be their private chef or their personal chef, right? Instead of you waiting around for brands to reach out to you, hoping and praying that Instagram doesn't change the algorithm again, right? And so that your food content can reach the right amount of people. Like, you can still do those things, but cooking classes really allows you to put yourself in the driver's seat of your own income, and you don't have to wait for people to reach out to you to earn money in your food business, okay? The next thing, and I love this, right? And this is kind of right up there with referrals, is cooking classes really allows you to build your reputation, because it's one thing for you to have good food. It's another thing for people to like you. And like I said, we talked about building that know, like, and trust factor. And when people get to see your passion for food, when they get to see your approach to cooking, when they get to see your food knowledge and your skill and, your ability to come up with these amazing menus and these amazing experiences, right? Like, the word travels, right? When I first started doing like corporate cooking classes, I did a handful. And then because those people at those companies had such an amazing experience, they started recommending me to other companies, right, and to other people, and it just started snowballing because my reputation preceded itself, right? And so like it's right up there with referrals, and I'm just like, listen, word of mouth marketing is still the most powerful marketing, which is why influencer marketing is so popular and so prevalent, because it's basically like word of mouth marketing on steroids. So I don't know where the video cut off at. However, because I do use a separate microphone to film, there's like another 4 minutes of this video, and I want you to get all of the tips that I have for you. So I'm just gonna put up a picture. Okay, and I'm gonna let the video play, but I hope that you enjoy it. And obviously you hear me do my outro, which is, and I'll see you in another video. But let's continue with this video. Building your reputation through cooking classes, right? It's a way, it's like paid publicity, right? Like you get paid to, do these cooking classes, host these cooking classes, but you're also getting to spread your word out to 20, 30, 40 people at a time, right? And build relationship with them that, a social media post can't do, right? So I love that. And then the last way that I'm going to share in this video that on reasons why you should be hosting cooking classes is it helps you create a list of potential paying clientele. So if you know anything about business, the easiest people to sell to are people that have purchased from you before, right? And so if you want to do dinner parties, if you want to do, small event catering, if you want to host events, right? If you want to write a cookbook, whatever, you already have now from doing cooking classes, a list of people that have expressed that they're into food, they're into you, right? And so you can market to them, and it's a paid way to build your database than to having a database full of freebie seekers or people who just want free recipes, right? So it's something to consider. So if you're like, listen, Evelyn, I didn't even really think about cooking classes this way. Like I thought it would be fun, thought it'd be a great way to make some extra income. You would be right. But there's these ways and so many more that I'm going to be talking about in the Build Your Cooking Class Business Bootcamp that's coming up, right? There's like 22 different ways that you can utilize cooking classes in your business depending on kind of the business model that you have. So this is like just 9 of like general ways. We're going to get into specifics, like here's how to use it if you're a caterer, here's how to use it if you're a personal private chef, here's how to use it if you're a food content creator, here's how to use it if you just want to do cooking classes exclusively, here's how to use cooking classes if you host events, here's how to use cooking classes if you have a bakery, here's how to use cooking classes if you're a cookbook author, all these different things, right? So we're going to get into all of that during the Build Your Cooking Class Business Bootcamp. We're also going to basically map out your cooking class business in one day, right? So we're going to set the goals. What do you want the cooking classes to do for you, right, as a business owner? Because like as you can see, it can do a lot of different things, and it can do more than one thing at once, right? So like you don't even have to like pigeonhole yourself into one thing. But then we're going to get into like, well, what's the best format for cooking classes for you? Because there's 6 different formats of cooking classes. And underneath those 6 different formats are 20 different types of classes that you can offer. And so depending on what your current business is and what your goals are, it's going to be about like picking out which one is the best fit for you so you can start to map that out and get that set up. And then after you select that, we're going to get into going through the 8-part Build Your Cooking Class Business Roadmap, like the 8 steps that you need to take and have in place to have a full on cooking class business, even if it's just something you want to do on the side. And like I said, we're going to get into the case studies about, my first cooking class that I did on social media. Online, no social media following, no Instagram, because it was 2010. Instagram didn't launch till October of 2010, right? And or how I made $5,000 from a 45-minute cooking demonstration. And there's one more about how I made a week's salary in one cooking class, right? So we're going to get into that so you can glean some nuggets on what are some things that you can do right now to benefit from cooking classes in your business. And so when you're done, you're going to have basically like the whole plan for your cooking class business ready to go in this boot camp. So I'm super, super excited. If that is something that interests you, make sure you check the link in the description bar below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.